Hello everyone and welcome back to the $10,000 Lone Star Clash. We are in the midst of the winner's bracket final. This is double elimination, so this is not the grand final. A current best of three between Polt and Stephano. Polt is currently up 1-0. Can Stephano come back?
I think so. This is a best of three, so he's only got, quite frankly, one chance to do it. Second map, Cloud Kingdom. I do think this can be a tough map for ZVT, but we will see.
Yeah. It's important to note the loser does pick the map of our map pool. If you want to see our map pool, go ahead and head to the Team Liquid thread.
Oh, you're right.
There
so
should be
Stephano
info on
chose
there.
This map.
Yeah,
that is
so
interesting.
Stephano did choose this map. What do you make of it, Bitter?
Maybe he has something prepared. I'm not sure. I would not have chosen this map. Maybe he thinks he can kill the third here. He's got a couple cute timings that he's used in the past, but he's done it against Polt, and Polt should be prepared for it. Speaking of Stephano-Polt specific interactions, a lot of people were pointing out that Polt does a couple of cute timings with either a 2 medevac push with Hellion support, or with like a Marine Marauder push with Hellion support, and that is what Stephano was preparing for with that big swell of early units on the previous map with the fast or the early lings and the banelings. And you know, we should point out that when Polt did push, Stephano was prepared for it and he dealt with it handily. So was it the right thing to do? I still feel like he gave up a lot to get away with it, as you know, as Polt was on 3 bases by the time that was all over. But it definitely meant that Stephano was able to get his third up unchecked, which is very instrumental in winning games against a Terran player. Yeah, and about this map, I mean, there's a lot of space. There's a lot of space for counterattacks. There's a lot of attack paths. It lends itself very well to a lot of speedlings. You know, upgraded speedlings, which we know Stephano loves going for that speedling composition. So, you know, maybe is that on his mind? A lot of counterattacks, trying to get surrounds. But again, there's not a lot of open space on this map. There's a lot of corridors, a lot of chokes. Very good for tank pushes. But that being said, actually pushing across the map can be a challenge in and of itself. A lot of Terrans will just turtle and just keep turtling and just never push and just keep methodically taking bases, and then just try to deny additional expansions from their opponent. I feel like this bottom right expansion and this top left expansion are going to be extremely instrumental in this game. If Polt can hide a command center back there and just mine it out, that would be incredible. At the same time, if he can deny Stephano from taking an expansion there, that could be incredible as well, because that's what the players are looking for after they're mined out of 5 bases, or after they're on 4 or 5 bases. Yeah,
they're
well,
looking
I mean,
for those expansions.
This is definitely a map where Terran players can get a very fast 3 base, as Polt has shown that he likes to do. And from there, it's not so difficult to take a 4th, because you've always got a planetary fairly close by to fall back to. If you put a planetary at your 3rd, I guess if there's an orbital there, that changes things a little bit. But just in general, Cloud Kingdom's a hard map to attack on. You're always attacking down a or through a choke and up or down a hill. So that can complicate things sometimes. We'll see how this one does play out. It is a gas opening for Polt, so we're very likely going to see some Hellions. He went Barracks Gas Command Center Factory. So this is one of the more economical variations on a Hellion opening. Yeah, a little bit of SCV harass in the natural. But Stephano too good to lose that early drone. Might even come out and poke that SCV one more time.
Deathmatch?
Ling's like, I got this.
Go for it, SCV.
Don't worry about it, little buddy. We got your back.
Zergling saving the life of that drone. He will live to become a spy caller.
Man, it'd be so cool if you had a Ling that had your back all the time.
That would be sick. I wonder how big they are in real life.
They're
pretty big, aren't they?
I met a bartender. She was like 70 years old, and she worked at a poker club, and her name was Ling.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Did she have your back?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I told her that I liked her name, and she was like, "Thank you."
Nice.
And then I didn't elaborate any further.
It's all good.
She was old, man.
Yeah, no. It's a very unique name, and it looks like Polt is in fact going for those fast Hellion Stephano, putting that spine collar at the front, of course. A tad worried about any Hellion aggression, putting a Roach Warren down behind this, keeping guys in gas.
Ooh, I question this a lot. This is an early Roach Warren. I think we're going to see some aggression out of Stephano here. He's got Zergling speed finishing up, and he's got quite a bit of gas saved as well as building an Overlord. I think we'll see him hold off on building anything for a while until that Roach Warren finishes. Wait, did he cancel it or did it complete?
It completed.
Okay, it did complete. So he's going to make as many roaches as he can afford here. Probably going to see 2 more coming out after the Overlord finishes, and then it's going to be some Roach Speedling aggression.
Yeah. That's definitely going to happen here. Stefano wants to make this a quick game, and Polt, he doesn't have many units on the ground right now. He has 1 Marine and 2 Hellions, and that's it as far as attacking units.
Wow, third base coming behind this.
Yeah,
Ooh, I
exactly.
like this. It might not be roach speeding at all. It's just going to be a roach push.
Yeah, he's droning too. Look
With
at
the
that.
third coming down behind it, and this is something that is much like what Sheth used to do in ZVT some months ago, and now it kind of fell out of fashion because Terran players learned that you can just get a Marauder and stay safe behind your wall in forever. But in this case, Polt is not doing that. He's getting a Banshee.
This is deja vu. We saw this before. Was it Polt versus Violet?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay.
I don't remember. But now Banshees obviously are great against roaches, but they don't kill them so fast. So I think it's pretty feasible to think that Stefano can go get a couple of drone kills. That is, if he doesn't chase these Hellions around the center of the map.
He's just going to engage him head on. Polt perfectly fine with that, except going to back away for now. 1 Roach heading into the natural expansion. It's going to be lifted off, terrified of that 1 single Roach. Banshee is about to get on the field as well. Will Stefano be prepared for this Banshee play, getting an additional Queen?
Well, this is what's awesome about this aggression from Stefano. Aggression serves 2 purposes. 1, you might be able to kill something. 2, it's a damn good scouting tool. And the Banshee being revealed here is showing Stefano, hey, Banshee tech is in play. You better be careful. So we're going to see Spore Crawlers going up. In fact, they're already being built in the... Well, there's 1 being built in the natural. There's no... Okay, another one is queued up here at the third base, but that drone hasn't gotten there just yet. Where's the Banshee going? Looks like she's going to head right through the center. Does Polt know about the third? He does not. But, man, he's heading right to it. Man, Polt is so good. Look at this game sense. Just walks right down there.
Yep.
It's probably going to come forward and target the Spore Crawler.
And the Queen's going to take forever to get over there to actually defend this because there is no creep connecting the natural and the third of Stefano.
Yeah, and when the Queen does arrive, the Banshee's probably going to scoot over into the main.
Yep.
Where... meaning, well, no, Polt just backs up there. So, okay. Either way, I like this quite a bit from Stefano. He's 14 drones up, and he's on a quick 3 base. So, he's going to be able to hang a little bit more than he did on Antigua because, I mean, his economy is much more comparable. Now, Polt does have this fast triple orbital, which is so good.
Yeah.
And, well, 2 Banshees out now. Stefano going to be forced to fight at his Spore Crawler.
Yeah, I mean, Polt is trying to make these Banshees as cost-efficient as possible, and you got to think, like, they've probably already paid for himself. Polt, right now, just wanted to get that orbital command up, wanted to stay safe, and now he has his natural expansion very nearly saturated, as well as his main.
Oh, got some Hellions
forward.
coming in here. There are 2 Roaches, but it'll take 2 Roaches quite a while to kill this many Hellions. Banshee's going to focus on the Roaches. Queen's going to be forced once again to back up to the Spore Crawler, so this is some very annoying aggression here. From Polt. Stefano's got 5 Roaches queued up, but a Queen's going to fall. Second Queen going to come down. Good job by Stefano making the most of what he has out on the field. He is going to turn this around, and he hasn't lost any drones, so a couple of Queens die. But
16 drones in production.
yeah, responds by saying, hey, guess what? I'm going to go up to 85 drones now.
Wow.
And that is awesome because here we are 10 minutes into the game, and guess what? Stefano doesn't have to build another drone for the rest of this game. He is completely saturated. He's got 2-2 on the way. He's playing a Roach Infester style. This is kind of how Nerchio plays, if anybody's familiar with the European scene. And Nerchio's got some of the best ZVT in all of Europe. So Stefano taking a page out of his book. And I do like this position quite a bit. Polt is going to secure a third base, so it's 3 bases to 3 bases. But I do think that Stefano's much better off this time than he was at 11 minutes on Antigua.
Yeah, and I do think Stefano is going to transition out of this Roach play. He is upgrading +2 melee attacks, also building Infestors, which means Infestors are very gas intensive. So if you want more Infestors, you're going to build less Roaches. And there we see 14 Zerglings in the production tab for Stefano. Meanwhile, Polt taking a third base of his own incredibly fast. And now it's going to be 3 bases versus 3 bases. Stefano has something to say about that, taking a 4th on the low ground down here, and Vikings and Banshees patrolling absolutely
Stefano
everywhere.
playing so good. Now, the cool thing about having these Roaches in the army is not that they do a lot of damage. That's not why you build them. You build them because they tank so much damage. These Roaches are going to have +2 armor, and it's already an armored unit by default. It's going to take Marines an eternity to kill these Roaches. Meanwhile, Stefano's going to have Zerglings and Infestors rampaging through the Terran forest. This is really quite good for Stefano. Now, dealing with these Banshees with just Infestors, a little bit annoying. But Fungal! No, he doesn't get the Fungal down. Okay, he will Fungal one of these Banshees, and it's going to definitely die. Second Banshee! He's going to get out of there. He's going to get out of there. So Stefano securing his 4th. He's taking a 5th as well. Liking every move we're seeing out of him. Hive finishing up as well. Spire is also going to be done, so we will be seeing some more Broodlord play out of Stefano.
Looks like Stefano wants to do a counterattack into the natural expansion of Polt. He has a lot of Marines here and a sieged up tank. Stefano changing his mind upon getting shot in the
he's
face.
gonna wait till the. Oh, no, I thought he was gonna wait till the roaches and go again, but in fact he is just gonna back off. Polt is awfully spread out. If we look at the army supply, he's well, 70 army supply against 60, so it's pretty comparable. But Greater Spire is morphing. Stefano on high tech here at 13 minutes, very fast hive once again.
Banshee trying to do some harassment in this fourth base of Stefano. Keep in mind, this is the original. Well, it's not anymore. It's gone. It was the original Banshee from the earlier harassment. He sent it back to get repaired, which not enough Terrans do, to be honest.
2 drones died. 2 drones died this entire game, so Stefano's done an immaculate job of defending. Both players actually running into a small supply block here. Stefano queues up 4 overlords in response to it. Polt finishes up like 4 depots, and I don't think we'll see any more supply issues for the rest of the game. Otherwise, pretty clean play on both sides. And I guess, ooh, double upgrades for Stefano, getting a second Spire. So he's going to continue with, and he's got 3/3, he's got Adrenal Glands, he's got the Corruptors coming. Just add the Ultralis Cavern so you can make that late game tech switch, and I think Stefano's in an unlosable position. I really do.
And Polt adding on 2 additional factories, perhaps thinking about transitioning into Thor play like he did last game. We'll have to keep an eye out on that. And yeah, Stefano's Greater Spire is about to be completed. Plenty of Corruptors in the field. I think actually 5 are in production. I'm not sure if there are any more anywhere, but Stefano caking on some Spine Crawlers at the space at the bottom right-hand location. Very important he can keep this alive and that it's not too stressful for him. Of course, spreading units around everywhere can be very difficult sometimes, but Stefano, a very good player, just going to put some Spine Crawlers there, and he can use those units that he would use to defend drops to actually be a part of his army. So
Polt is in a very dangerous spot. He's so close to Stefano's army. Stefano could have run down there and killed a bunch of siege tanks, but Stefano did not see it in time. He's going to be forced to back up, relinquish a little bit of position here, and now Polt going to leapfrog forward, try to take this high ground in the center of the map. It's going to give him a staging point to attack these expansions of Stefano, but here he is. Fungal going to go down on some of these tanks. Roaches and Lings going to come forward, and 3 or 4 tanks dying. Some nice Fungals on Marines. Pretty even trade there. In the middle of the map, look at this. Broodlords are already out.
Yeah, Polt sees this right now, immediately queuing up 2 Vikings. Keep in mind he has 2/2 on the way for those infantry. The tanks remaining sieged up. Polt just going to go for it, stemming forward the Marine, trying to target fire the Broodlords, but the units from Stefano say no and come forward to clean up a large majority of this army. However, Polt just has a lot of units here, splitting up his armies, trying to avoid those fungal growths. Stefano continuing with the charge. These Broodlords doing so much damage, and Stefano's going to clean this up.
This is so well played by Stefano. Handled that fight perfectly. His late game army control is second to none, and he is going to continue to steamroll forward. Only Marines remaining at the top of that ramp for Polt, and if Stefano just went for it, I think he might be able to break it. Those units are awfully clumped up, and some good Fungals could be very difficult to deal with. Infested Terran going to spawn and kill 2 Medivacs, and will Stefano go for it? Ooh, planetary morphing in a very
nice
spot.
positioning on that. The Vikings get out to try to deal with these Broodlords. Infestors neglecting to fungal growth those. Keep in mind these do have neural parasites, so not too out of the ordinary. To see neural parasites, try to neural parasite those Vikings and then take them for their own and try to do some Viking versus Viking action, or just land them to kill them. But Stefano going to go for a counterattack into the third base of Polt. Is he prepared? He has 1 tank on the high ground, 1 bunker on the low ground, but that's about it. Stefano could do a lot of damage here, and Polt doesn't have much to deal with this.
No, his army's badly out of position. These Lings going to kill a handful of SCVs. Tanks doing good work from the high ground. Great positioning on the Marines of Polt. But there's definitely still going to be some losses taken. That siege tank doing so much friendly fire damage, has 13 kills. I'm sure 7 or 8 of them are SCVs. Now, Broodlord's going to march forward once again in the middle of the map. They're going to fungal these Vikings are going to get fungaled, and the Corruptors are going to deal with that. And with the Broodlords supporting, it's going to be very difficult for Polt to maintain this defense. But we can see, though, with good positioning and good use of his units, Polt is making it so hard for Stefano to attack up into that third base.
In the meantime, Polt just completely circumventing the Broodlords with the drop down here at the fourth base of Stefano, stemming those Marines. Zerglings coming forward from Stefano. Keep in mind, they are 3/3, and Polt just going to lift up those Marines and get out there. At the same time, Corruptors and Broodlords trying to do some damage to this army and base of Polt, but those Vikings are proving very strong to back up, trying to pull the Corruptors in range of the Thor, and the Thor getting some nice volleys off on those Corruptors. Meanwhile, the drop still being annoying for Stefano.
Yeah, Stefano's still chasing that drop around. Broodlords are all going to get dealt with. The Corruptors are all dead, and Broods, you can't really retreat from Vikings. A couple of infested Terrans trying to pick away the last of those Vikings, but Marines will deal with that. And Polt is making 3-4 Vikings at a time, it seems. Right now he's got 2 in production. 10 Corruptors coming out for Stefano. I mean, this drop plays. Polt is so good at multitasking. Stefano this time doing a brilliant job of dealing with it. He's still taking minimal worker losses. He's lost 14 drones this entire game. He's still on 88. And again, he's in possession to catch these medevacks, and bam, fungal. That's 16 dead Marines. Stefano's still sitting at a max against about 140 supply of Polt.
Polt's starting to run out of money, too. His natural expansion very nearly mined out. His main base completely mined out, essentially, except for 85 minerals there. His third, honestly, starting to get mined out as well. So Polt, he's having trouble getting a fourth base
needs
here.
A fourth.
Meanwhile, Stefano has, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, counting, 6 bases, gas saturated at each, which is very important, especially at this stage in the game. Is floating 2K gas right now. Of course, he's maxed, so it's not like he's bad at macro or anything. He's just saving that gas up.
Oh, yeah.
Stefano in a great situation here.
Oh, Medevac was trying to sneak out, and there were Corruptors dangerously close, but Stefano backed him up. Of course, he had no way of knowing that Medevac was there, but it will make its way down to the bottom half of the map and try to harass this bottom right expansion. There's a lot of spine crawlers there, though. It's going to be very difficult for just 8 Marines to do much. Another little hit squad moving around the top of the map.
Yep.
While Stefano is trying to find a way to attack into Polt, but with siege tanks and planetaries everywhere, it's really difficult to find an opening.
Yeah, again, Polt just abusing the lack of mobility of this infested Broodlord squad, but the Zerglings from Stefano again being retreated to try to deal with these Marines. The Spine Crawlers honestly might be enough. Anyway, at the same time, the base on the middle left-hand side, I don't know what to describe it as, maybe the 6th base being under siege by Polt, going to take out the Spine Crawlers. The hatchery will, in fact, fall, so a little bit of a good break there for Polt, and Stefano can return back to try to deal with this, but Polt can simply lift off and go. However, he's going to stand his ground and engage these Zerglings at the same time.
Yeah, only lost a single Marine.
Broodlord's doing some aggression at the natural expansion of Polt, and a bunch of Corruptors and Infestors there to supplement those, but the drop's still going to be annoying.
These are 2/2 Broodlords. Stefano's starting to get ranged attack upgrades. I guess it's for infested Terrans. He does have a few roaches in his army still, but he's more or less stopped producing roaches. Stefano at 4K. He's not maxed and he's not producing, so I really wonder what is the reason for this. He's maybe thinking about making a tech switch of some sort, but there's still no Ultralisk Cavern. He's got the Roach Warren down, but I don't see him powering out a bunch of roaches. I'm really eager to see what he decides to remax on. He's at 160 supply now, losing a lot of units to these drops around the map.
Yeah. And
it's going to be Corruptors.
He's doing a great job.
He just wants to play Infestor Broodlord.
He's doing a great job dealing with his army from Polt, doing so much damage with these Broodlords, and as soon as the Marines come forward, fungal growthing them from with the Infestors from the low ground. Infested Terrans coming forward as well.
This is nice. I love the use of the Infested Terrans. They're going to soak up so much damage. They'll kill all those SCVs. Great fungal as well. This planetary finally going to get cracked, and there is now an opening that Stefano can pour through.
Yep.
And Polt dipping down below 100 supplies. Stefano is still max. GG. Game number 2 goes to the Frenchman.
The American.
To the chance of USA in chat. What a game that was, and wow, Stefano really makes. Man, he looked so good there. Maybe he picked Cloud Kingdom because of how hard it is to take a 4th base.
Yeah. That's definitely a good opportunity. Like one key point there, you remember when Polt was kind of moving out with those tanks across the middle of the map, which Stefano eventually swallowed up. I thought Polt would be more methodical about that. I thought he would try to take that 4th that was right there and set up his siege tanks around that. That being said, perhaps he scouted the Broodlords a little bit later, wasn't as prepared as he could have been for those. But all that being said, spectacular game, spectacular play from Stefano there, and he's not going to quit.
No, not at all. Series is tied 1-1. Polt's map choice to find out who is going to win in the winner's bracket final. Guys, don't go anywhere. The final game between these two players coming up after this.